and welcome to Wellness Unplugged, the podcast where we speak honestly about the messy, beautiful, and often misunderstood world of mental health and well-being. I'm Lesley, a counsellor with years of experience, and today we're diving into a topic that touches every single human being on this planet, in one form or another: pain. What is it? Why do we feel it? And perhaps most importantly, what it can teach us. As always, we'll explore both the science and the psychology with a little soul searching along the way. Let's begin with this truth. Pain is not the enemy. Pain gets a really bad reputation. And honestly, who can blame us for resenting it? It hurts. It slows us down. It interrupts life. But here's the thing. Pain is not here to ruin your life. Pain is here to protect it. It's not a punishment. It's a signal. So what is pain really? Well, pain is your body's way of waving a flag and saying something needs attention. It may be a stubbed toe, a broken heart, a worn-out muscle, or years of unspoken grief. But at its core, pain is a call to awareness, a sign that something in your body or your life isn't quite right. Let's have a look at the biology of pain, or your internal alarm system, if you will. From a biological perspective, pain is a complex and incredibly intelligent alarm system. It's the body's way of keeping us alive. When you touch something hot, pull a muscle, or twist your ankle, nerve endings send signals through your spinal cord to your brain. The brain interprets those signals and says, "Ouch, stop. Pay attention." There's a rare condition called congenital insensitivity to pain, where people feel no pain at all. Wow, sounds pretty cool, right? It's actually incredibly dangerous. Without pain, they often injure themselves severely without realizing it, because their body has no way to say, "Hey, something's wrong." So yes, pain hurts, but it also helps. It's the body's way of saying, let's fix this now before it gets any worse. There is a certain brain-body connection when it comes to pain, and that's what makes it feel quite so personal. You see, pain isn't just about tissue damage or broken bones. It's not confined to the body. Very often, it's deeply rooted in the brain. Pain is processed in areas like the thalamus, the somatosensory cortex, and the anterior cingulate cortex, regions that not only handle sensation, but also emotion and meaning. That's why two people with the same injury can report completely different levels of pain. One might brush it off, the other might be in agony. Why? Well, because brain is filtered through our life experience, emotional states, expectations, and past traumas. Your brain remembers what your body has been through, even when you think you've moved on. This brings us to chronic pain, that pain that sticks around long after an injury has technically healed. It might have started with a real physical issue, but over time the nervous system gets stuck in pain mode. The alarms keep sounding even though there's no fire. This doesn't mean that kind of pain is imaginary. It just means the nervous system is overfiring, often fueled by stress, trauma, or unresolved emotional tension. In other words, it's not all in your head, but rather what's happening in your head that matters. Here's something I see all the time in counseling, that pain shows up where words cannot. Pain can be a messenger, sometimes the only one we're willing to listen to. People who have survived trauma or grown up learning to suppress emotions can often carry the pain in their bodies. This is known as somatic pain. It's real physical pain that doesn't have a clear medical explanation. When we're constantly in fight or flight, our bodies never get the chance to relax. Muscles tighten, digestion slows, cortisol floods the system, and over time this leads to inflammation, headaches, gut issues, jaw pain, back tension, even autoimmune responses. The nervous system never forgets what the mind is trying to ignore. Pain also carries symbolism. Heartbreak can feel like chest pressure. Years of guilt might sit heavily in your stomach, and the weight of unspoken grief, well, can pull at your shoulders for years. As Dr. Gabor Mate puts it, if you don't know how to say no, your body will eventually learn to say it for you. Right, now that we've looked at the so-called somatic pain, what about the real clinical side of pain? Pain has names, it has diagnoses, it has patterns. It's not just emotional or metaphorical, it's often deeply medical, and some examples may include fibromyalgia, which is a widespread unexplained pain and fatigue, often tied to hypersensitive nervous systems. Migraines, which are neurological storms influenced by stress, hormones, food and sleep patterns. Arthritis, an inflammation in the joints, often worsened by diet, stress and trauma. Neuropathy. Neuropathy is nerve pain from injuries or conditions like diabetes. Muscular and spinal tension. This is frequently tied to posture, chronic stress, and emotional suppression. These conditions are not just in your head, but they're not just in your body either. They exist somewhere in the in-between, where mind and matter meets. That's why clinics like Your Wellness Matters, which is soon to open in Pennington, aims to treat pain holistically with tools like red light therapy, hand reflexology, nervous system regulation, and biofeedback. Not as miracle fixes, but as a gentle invitation for the body to rest, reset, and begin healing. Let's have a look at the counseling aspect and how it relates to pain. In counseling, the conversations often turn to the emotional load behind the physical symptoms. Clients often say things like, "I just want to feel normal. It hurts, but the doctors can't find anything. It feels like my body's turning against me." But the truth is, your body isn't betraying you. It's telling the truth. It's speaking where you have been silent. It's holding on to what you have not yet learned to put down. Sometimes pain is a signal that you've been too strong for too long. It may be grief unprocessed, rage unspoken, fear never soothed. Pain is a map, one that guides you, not to more suffering, but to places within you which still are asking for care. So, what can we do about this? Well, here are 5 practical ways to begin listening to your pain. Track your pain patterns. When does it flare up? What were you doing? Who were you with? What were you feeling? Treat pain as communication, not as an enemy, not as a weakness, but rather as a message from a wise, exhausted system. Support both body and mind. Try somatic therapy, massage, trauma counseling, red light therapy, or just conscious breathing. All of it helps. All of it counts. Change your inner dialogue. Talk to your pain. Talk to it the way you would talk to a frightened child. Gently, with patience. Don't delay help. Pain ignored doesn't disappear. It deepens. So start where you are with what you have. In closing, if you're living with pain, whether physical, emotional, or both, please hear this. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not alone. Pain is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you're still alive, still responding, and still hoping for better. And if someone close to you is struggling with pain, reach out to them. Offer patience. Don't wait for them to ask. If you'd like to talk more, you can contact me directly at info@lesleyharvey.co.za. I'll leave you with this message. The body always leads us home, if we can learn to listen. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. Thank you for joining me on Wellness Unplugged. Until next time, unplug, recharge, and remember, your wellness matters more than you think.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.